Hello, and welcome to week 5 of the Seagate Gaming Academy, powered by Northern Shield Academy. I am Lemonpuppy, and this week I will be teaching you about decision making and awareness. The first topic for today is rotations. We touched on this during week 3 a little bit, and as promised, we are returning to it. The flowchart you see right now demonstrates how you want to go about rotating on both offense and defense. We will start with offensive rotations. Rotations are important because they allow every player to be involved and allows for every player to play faster than if they were to sit in a static position. First off, in position number 1, you'll be the furthest back. Your job from this position is to keep the ball on the offensive half of the field, and to be the next one to challenge if number 3 loses the ball towards the wall. This position often gets the most space and has a lot of chances to perform solo plays, to waste time, and potentially score. The next position is number 2. This position's job is to be ready at midfield in case of a pass. They will also want to be ready to move back to number 1's position as soon as number 3 loses the ball. In the case that number 3 loses the ball towards the middle of the field, you can act like he meant to do that and still try and shoot the ball. This position is the most dangerous to shoot the ball in because you have the whole net to aim at. The final number for offense is number 3. Number 3's job is simple but very important. Number 3 is supposed to either pass the ball if number 2 is wide open, or he will want to perform a 50-50 in the corner with the defender. This is in order to keep the ball in the corner and stay on offense without giving the defender space with the ball. As soon as he loses a 50-50 or the ball gets behind him, his job is to rotate out to number 2's position. Now, I want to go into a little more detail for position number 1 on offense. This position is very important because if the defensive team gets a big clear, then this member is normally the only one that can stop them from counterattacking. To begin, while in this position you want to be more defense oriented than any other position. It is ultimately much better to miss a potential scoring opportunity or lose offensive pressure than to give your opponents a wide open net. In this position, you will want to stay around the midfield line on the field and only move up if you know you can either beat or 50-50 the opponent. You're often what I like to call the cleanup crew, and you'll score any shots that happen to be floating in front of the opposing team's net that your other teammates cannot read. In the case that you will get beat to the ball as the number 1 position, you'll want to turn your card towards the net and protect it from any potential shot. In this case, you are solely trying to buy time for your team to come back onto defense and help you out. Defensive rotations are simpler when it comes to decision making. The importance of defensive rotations is to allow each defender to get boost in their third of the field. This specific rotation maximizes the amount of boost you can get while still staying relevant near your net. We will start with number 1 again. Number 1's job is to challenge the ball as quick as possible and attempt to clear the ball. After he has completed that job, he will want to rotate to number 3's position. During his rotation, they will want to pick up as many boost pads as possible and watch out for a potential midfield pass from the offense. Number 2's position is the goalie, and he will ultimately want to save any shots that could come at the net. If he gets the chance to hit the ball, he'll want to hit it towards number 1 or towards the corner of the net. If he gets it towards number 1, it can result in a clear a lot of the time, if number 1 can get a big hit. Otherwise, if number 2 hits it towards the corner, the offense will have no angle to shoot the ball, making it the safest position to keep the ball at. After number 1 rotates out, it is number 2's job to be the next one to challenge the ball in order to keep the rotation going and to pressure the ball. Lastly, number 3 will want to replace number 2 once he leaves the net. He will also be the one defending the back wall from any potential aerial shots or backboard shots. As you can see, as a defender or offender, you normally have to deal with the ball in the corner. This is the safe spot for both the offense and defense. The goal is, whether you are on offense or defense, is to be able to get the ball out of the corner with a pass or solo play. The team that can do this most often is generally the winning one. Next, we are going to talk about general comms that players use while playing with a team. Although every team has a slightly different comm, a lot of the comms have the same meaning behind them. What I think is the single most important comm while playing with a team is letting them know when you are going for a ball. This will tell everyone on your team the next hit on the ball is yours, and it will allow your team to make the proper decision on where to move. The flip side of this is when you cannot hit a ball that you are expected to hit, you will want to comm can't or leaving to tell your teammates you are not hitting the ball. Another comm you can use is when you are open for a pass. When in the offensive corner, it is generally hard to see through the midfield, so as the offensive player in midfield, you'll want to call out mid in order to let your team know that you are in the midfield open for a pass. If you have no boost, you'll want to let your teammates know as well by calling out no boost or 0. If there are no defenders in the net, you can call open and let your team know they can shoot and score right now. Comms do take work and can even downgrade your play for a short period of time. It is essentially multitasking, and until it becomes automatic for you, it may degrade your play, but once you learn how to comm naturally, it will be an invaluable skill as a team member. Ultimately, your decision making and awareness will grow over time playing the game, and unlike mechanics, you cannot practice them solely by yourself. You will often need to be in an actual game scenario to see how actual people will react. Next up, we have the skill of field awareness. This is most easily gained by playing more and learning how people naturally move. Everyone has a different play style, so while it's impossible to know exactly what they will do, there is a lot of movements you can predict just by observing what a majority of people do. If you remember the rotations we had previously talked about, then you can already see a general movement that most players perform. Although every player can have their own individual take on these rotations, you can generally predict that an offensive player furthest back on the field will be the next up to challenge in the corner. Some tips besides just playing a bunch and learning general movements is to use your camera. To do this, you'll want to move your right joystick in whatever direction you want to move your camera in. This will allow you to see players outside of your field of view. This skill is highly valuable and will help you fill in any missing gaps in your mental map of the game. You will also want to pay attention during the first few minutes of the game how each player on both your team and the opposing team moves. If they are more offensive and fast-paced, you will know that you will often be challenged while controlling the ball, and you'll have to make fast decisions. Lastly, you can use audio cues to tell you where someone is at. Although headphones are not as important as in shooters such as Valorant, they're still important for Rocket League. Just like you would expect, the closer a car is, the louder they will be. This can be a good addition to using your eyesight while trying to identify where cars are at.
Hey, it's Mike here again. What's the most important thing for gamers? Speed, performance, form factor? For me, it's RGB lighting. I don't know about you, but I play better, more agile, and have quicker reactions when I set my RGB mode. Corsair IQ software, spelled ICUE, synchronizes with all your Corsair peripherals with smart lighting and reacts to your gameplay. I would love to see your gaming setup. Tag Seagate Gaming on social media, and I'll be sure to check it out. Well guys, it was a slice this week. I'll see you next week.